I don't know if you noticed that during his visit to the United States, whenever Pope Francis set foot in a church, before he did anything else, he carried a bouquet or a vase of flowers to a side chapel that was devoted to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Now, you'd always see this entourage of cardinals kind of cooling their heels on the other side of the chapel's altar rail, while our Holy Father Francis placed flowers before this sacred image or statue and silently contemplated her image. He did this again and again in every church he entered. Even after his 9-day trip to Mexico and a long overnight flight back to Rome, when all the journalists aboard his plane were eager to rush home and onto their hotel rooms, Pope Francis got off the plane and went straight to the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore just to thank Mary for his trip, and he brought her a bouquet of flowers. A recent convert to the faith, he was puzzled by this. He said that he wasn't brought up attending annual Queen of Mary crownings as you and I were so familiar with back in the 50s. These celebrations that we would have seemed quite foreign to him, and something that he thought was more appropriate for children to celebrate. When he had come to understand how the Catholic Church does not worship Mary, but honors and venerates her, he found himself still struggling with the concept of giving material gifts like flowers to some artistic representation of Mary done either through a statue or in a painting. But then one Sunday morning, as a matter of fact, on the Pope's last visit here in the United States, after Mass in his neighborhood church in Washington, D.C., he decided to pay Mary a visit. He previously had noticed older women, particularly Filipinos, doing this, and he knew where to go. He went to the side altar and he quietly knelt down before this beautiful white marble statue of Mary, holding the child Jesus, and he gazed up at her. Now, he was expecting to see nothing except a cold marble statue, but he was startled to see that she was looking right at him with this motherly, caring, compassionate expression, and her free hand was open in such a manner as if it were inviting him into her embrace. Now, of course, these images that are created by artists, they're meant to startle us. They're meant to awaken us, to help our imaginations so that we can properly contemplate Mary as our mother. That's what they're created for, not just to make us feel some artistic work as something beautiful. They're meant precisely to help remind us that she is our mother, that she is Jesus' mother, and the right response to this awakening of our imaginations is reverence. I think the Pope is wonderful in showing us this very simple gesture of bringing flowers to Mary. In our shrine, as you well know, here at the Basilica, every single day, women, particularly women, but men as well, bring arrangements of flowers to place at the shrine of our Mother Perpetual Help. And so I was curious, having heard this story from this man, I wanted to know what motivated them to bring flowers. Well, one woman told me that she offers flowers to Mary in gratitude. As a matter of fact, I discovered in my questioning that a large majority of people who are bringing flowers bring them out of gratitude. She said to me, "My flowers to Mary are in gratitude for her role in helping to bring about our salvation. But they're also given in gratitude for the compassion that Mary shows as a mother, something which I lacked throughout my entire childhood. She mothers us with little lessons. My pleadings to understand bring her grace, and she wraps me in her arms of love. And she has this way when she looks at me that seems to be as if she's kissing my forehead gently with hope and encouragement. Sometimes she says, I just need to offer some earthly gift that is beyond words and beyond my prayers, some childlike expression of gratefulness for being such a good mom who wants only what's best for us. Another woman told me that she puts flowers before Mary in her house, and for the very same reason as the first woman, because she's mom, because she grew up with May crownings, and during her childhood never had flowers to bring, so now as an adult I can do it. Another woman told me that she has a statue of Mary in her home that she brought back from a pilgrimage that she made to Fatima. And she said, often when I buy flowers for my house, I always place a simple bud vase before the statue of Our Lady of Fatima, because I just want to thank her for her many times that she has interceded for me and has loved me. It's the least that I can do for someone whose love is so great. It's just a little gesture, a single bud in a vase, and yet it speaks of my affection for her. Whenever I see flowers on the shrine, of all different types, roses and geraniums, even orchids, I see flowers that remind me of how much people love her, and also of her love for us. That love that brings so much beauty and hope into our lives. I think we're all Mary's children, that we don't have to be of a certain age, it doesn't matter. And like St. John in the Gospel of John, we're all being invited to make a home for Mary in our own homes. This physical reminder, this statue or this icon of Mary hanging on our wall or sitting on a bureau or on a table, they are symbols of the spiritual reality of our relationship with Mary. You know, the homilies and the addresses Pope Francis gave while he was here in the United States at the National Shrine, to the Congress, to the UN, they were extraordinary talks that are so wealthy in the material they offer for reflection and inspiration. But you take his magnificent talks and his homilies, And you hold that in contrast to this very simple gesture of his, of paying homage to Mary, our mother. And I don't know about you, but that leaves me, someone like you who loves her, so much richer and so much more grateful for the faith that we all have, which can be expressed by a simple gesture of placing flowers before our mother.